Zygote. Defying the law of mathematics. 1 plus 1 becomes 1. Us. I'm Lucy, a patchwork being stitched from the collective female pain body. We, like the ocean, are moved by the moon. When we live together, our cycles sync. We are grandmothers, mothers, sisters, daughters, wives, lovers, and friends.
It happened a couple of weeks ago and I was at Teddy's with a friend. I'd never been there before and I really liked the vibe and we were having a good night. We just finished a show at the Empire. We went out to celebrate and my friend knew the bouncer, so everything was going great. We were there for hours till early hours in the morning and it was getting more crowded. It was getting busier and busier and busier. And it got to a point where I kept feeling a hand on my back. Trying to think logically first, I thought, it's because it's busy, people are probably just trying to get past me. And all of a sudden, I felt this twang go in my bra. And I was like, my back started hurting. And then I literally leant forward and I was like, oh my God. I was like, my boobs were about to fall out my top. I turned around and this man had lifted up the back of my top and unhooked my bra.
That's unreal.
And I was like, and I just remember, and I turned around and like, not that it makes it any easier or like easier to comprehend, but it was a grown man.
Yeah.
It was a grown man.
And you are how old?
I'm
Bethany?
21.
Exactly.
And I was like, what the hell? And my friend was like, right, let's move. So we moved and he followed, and then we moved again and he followed. And I got to a point where I was like on the verge of a panic attack. This man would not leave me alone. And I just had like this instinct of I need to fucking run.
Yeah.
Like, I need to get the fuck out of here right now. And I ran up the stairs. Luckily, because my friend knew the bouncer, he was like, right, I'll deal with this lad. And I hid in the toilets for about 10 minutes, just like hyperventilating.
Wow.
I felt so unsafe and violated.
Yeah, so I'm 18 at this point because I got in on my proper ID. Bouncer used to always I was always the one that never got in because I look young now, I'm 26, but I'm even obviously younger. So you go down, the ceilings are low, aren't they?
Yeah, and I'm 5'9", so it was a bit of a struggle.
The ceilings are very low in there, and basically we used to say there's a back wall full of uncles, so the uncles are like the older guys. And you'd stay away from the back wall. And I remember getting pulled in and this guy like humping my leg and I thrown my drink over him, but they turned it on me like I was drunk and erratic and they thrown me out, and I was like, he has just grabbed me and humped my leg, and I got like, he was like, oh, you crazy, you're crazy.
One of my friends from home was visiting, and it was my first time having someone from home visit. And it was fine. It was going fine. We were both quite drunk, but like I had my friend, I felt safe enough. We were in bar, got creeped on quite badly, and we're like, okay, let's leave, we'll go somewhere else. Yeah. And we did, and then this boy, I don't really remember him joining us, but he did. My friend told me, she was like, I'm pretty sure he was on his own, which is already a bit weird. And he follows me back to my flat and he's like, oh, are you doing an afters? No. But he ended up there anyway, and a lot of my flatmates were still awake and like in the kitchen. And this guy is just in there and he's trying to like get into my room, and I'm telling him this isn't my flat. I start lying. I'm like, this isn't my flat, this isn't my room. And for some reason, he takes his shoes off. I think he's trying to like have a reason to stay. I'm not sure. But I'm like, he ends up getting into a bit of an altercation with two of my flatmates. One of the girls who's like, leave, she doesn't want you here, and a boy who just had also a big ego and wanted a bit of a scrap. Yeah. But I was like, it's okay, I'll walk you home, but like I don't want you to stay here. He doesn't put his shoes back on. So strange. But then all of my memories just start getting really choppy, and this is why I don't want to say I was spiked, because sometimes you do just get too drunk. Yeah. But I have such memory loss, but then like my memories come back, and it's just, yeah. But somehow, instead of leaving him at his accommodation, I ended up inside. And I said to him, like, I was like, I don't want to, like, have sex with you. Like, I'm not interested. But I'd kissed him in the club. I knew that. And then he's still trying to take my clothes off. And I just kind of start, like, I think I, like, clock out, you know? Yeah. Like, it's not really, you don't want to be there. You don't want to do this. And so you just go to, like, a different place almost in your mind. Yeah. And things just kept progressing, and I said, if you're going to do this, like, you have to wear a condom. And he did at first, and then at some point I realised he'd taken it off, but my body was like limp at this point and heavy. And then this is where things will get a bit confusing for me, and I'm still not really sure what happened, but I was speaking about this with you, Jackie. I realised I felt very like wet on my thighs, and I was like, that's bizarre, because I don't want to be here. And I like touched them, and I'm just coated in blood. And I really was like, oh, I'm not due on my period and everything. And it was just a bit bizarre. And then it didn't stop. I just bled for like hours. I think it started around 5 a.m.-ish, and I was still bleeding when I went home at 8 a.m. He was like, oh, you can use my shower. And I get in, and like, this is the first time I'm standing there in the light. Like, I felt so exposed at this point. Yeah. And I'm bleeding out. And he goes, oh, can I get in the shower with you? And I'm like, no, you can't. I'm literally bleeding. Like, I don't understand why you'd want to have a shower with someone when they're like bleeding out. So he ended up going to bed on like the only non-blood coated part of his bed. He like curled up, and I ended up just staying in the bathroom. And then I was gonna like talk myself down, stop bleeding, take myself home, but I ended up passing out from the blood loss.
Walking home late at night, moving fast, heart racing, sweat trickling down my spine, keys clutched in my hand, sharp ends poking through my fingers, knuckles white, eyes wide, breath catching.
Is someone behind me? I speed up.
Ears pricked.
Is someone
behind me?
Breathe.
I speed up, clutch tighter. Is someone... Breathe. Breathe. Don't look back. Run.
I always change up my key rings on my keys, and I used to have like this one from Disney, and it was like Mickey Mouse heads on an ice cream cone, but the ice cream cone was really pointy. So like whenever I was walking home of a night, or like even just of a day, and I felt I was in a secluded space, I would have that ice cream cone and my key, because I was like prepared to turn around and whack. And it's that idea as well of don't look back, because it's like By the time your keys are in between your knuckles, your adrenaline's gone. Yes. Like, you're thinking, right, what's the best way? What if he's behind me?
Should I run?
Yeah. And then it's like, oh, I don't really want to run. I don't like running. Like, I'd rather continue at a scared pace and, like, save my energy for just a really strong hit.
Really interesting, like, the don't look back thing. I've never really thought about it before, but I always get that, like, don't look back, like, tunnel vision, like, don't even look to the sides. Or another thing I'm really prone to doing, you've got your keys. I use, like, reflections to see, like, who's behind me, windows, cars, and you just check. And the running thing, I do run, but I will never run until I've turned a corner. I don't want to start running if I'm scared of someone behind me, because then what if they think it's a chase, you know? Yeah. So I'm walking quickly, turn a corner, and I leg it up the street. And then if they turn the same corner, and then go back to walking, cross the road. I'm like, I just don't want someone to see me running because of the fear they're going to chase me. But yeah, I've never had to use my keys like that.
And you also need to watch your back.
Well, you need to lie, and it's like TV on and another girl's being attacked, and it's all these like constant stories that reinforces that fear.
And it's always women as well. I feel like we're seeing it more of women who follow the rules, where they run in a public place, they run when it's still daylight out. Yes. You know, they have their keys handy to them.
I could be dead in a ditch. Yeah. I need to put my keys in me first. Like in my book, so I speak about it, cultural gaps in urban safety. So the quote is, street lights come on, I slip my keys into my fist, strap the lanyard, a tight grip around my wrist, destination intact, look ahead, don't look back. And it's like actually attacking someone as well. Like, I hate the thought of hating someone, or like any that stuff could kill someone. Yeah. That would ruin your life, because you're still going to get done for murder. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? You're not safe then.
During her lifetime, the average woman will lose 100 to 150 litres of blood. Crimson, ruby, clotted, sticky, dripping, trickling, inky, liquid, penning our existence. But not all blood is sacred. Some is stolen, some is screamed into silence. In the UK alone, 69,958 rapes were recorded between October 2023 and September 2024. That's nearly every seat in Wembley Stadium filled with someone who didn't ask for this. One every 7.5 minutes before the kettle boils, before the ad ends, before you reply to a message. Another. "190 classrooms every day to seat the victims of a single year." It's the length of a novel, but every word a wound, every sentence a scar. 40% were too embarrassed to report, 38% didn't think police would help, and every 3 days a woman in the UK is killed. Still, the government says, making our streets and homes safer for women is now a top priority. So we ask, grandfathers, fathers, sons, husbands, lovers, and friends. You were born from us, bathed through blood, held in arms that still ache. This isn't just our burden. This isn't just our fight. It's yours too. Unlearn, stand with us, listen, and speak. Because together, 1 + 1 becomes 1. Us.
How can we feel safer? The only way I can feel safer is if I feel strong within myself. So I went to yoga. I saw how yoga can make you really, it's not a muscly thing. It's not like a workout in the gym, but trust me, you are flexible and strong and quick. And it really empowered me. So that's how I feel strong and safe within myself without talking or thinking about the environment, but just my inner environment, my inner peace. Give me peace of mind.
I done karate from the age of 3. I actually was attacked near where I lived, and that forced me, because I lost all my friends, all the people around me, people didn't want to be associated with me. So I went full time almost into karate, where I trained every single day and ended up on the England team and fought like internationally. I got a world title. And yeah, through that practice and discipline and getting that strength in myself. So when things do happen with me, something happens almost every week, every few weeks, every few days as a woman. And going to the gym, which is like instilled in me now. I don't really train martial arts too much, but I go to the gym and I weight train and I do bag training, and I'm able to channel that frustration out and not allow me to be engrossed by these experiences or feel victim to life. I feel like a powerful woman. I feel like the work I'm doing with metamorphia, with the architecture stuff, opening them conversations is how I feel safe, how I feel empowered, how I feel strong despite the things that may go on around me. It's like not allowing them to take away my peace.
For me, safety is such a mental game. Like, I know deep down in society, I will never feel safe until men take more responsibility. But I know I can't control that. So as long as I can control, like we were talking before the podcast about the idea of fear being false. What did you say?
False evidence appearing real.
Yeah, I need to take control of how I feel, tell myself that I am safe before I feel the strength physically. It's all mentally for me. So I think just telling myself that I am safe, control, and when that anxiety does arise, because I am still human, and as much as I can tell myself every day that I am strong, I'm still going to have them hiccups, but being able to regulate myself back to, a zen kind of mindset, I think that's probably more impactful for me.
I mean, obviously, when it comes to it, being physically strong is so important, but it's similar to what Beth said about the mentality, but also going back to what we said earlier about text me when you get home, let me know when you're home. I think having like friendships, especially friendships with women that will always look out for you, always be there for you, and always check when you are home is like a big thing to me. I like just knowing that, and like someone checking on my location, things like that. And then if things did go wrong, having people you can depend on and you can talk to, I think just makes me feel safer, because I'm like, there'll always be someone in my corner. And I had like counselling for this, and I did something called EMDR. The counsellor I was with, she had me saying like positive affirmations whilst I was like reliving the experience. And I wanted one that said, I am safe. That's what I kept saying, I'm safe, I am safe. But as I was doing the process, I was following like these lights on a bar. It was quite bizarre and kind of a form of hypnotherapy. But the positive affirmation of I am safe became I am strong. And now when I think back on this experience, I hold that with me, because although this happened to me and it was awful, like I've kept going. I'm here. He's not taken that from me, even though it is a horrible experience to look back on. I'm proud of myself for coming so far,
So I say adversity to artistry. I say trauma-informed design, turning adversity to artistry. And it's that channeling of taking that story and creating a piece of art out of it for other people to feel. And I do exactly the same. I've been sexually assaulted and abused and physically and all that type of stuff. And I channel it through my arts. And it's the most, I think, empowering thing, because you get that release and then you build awareness, because you allow other people to be uncomfortable and process too.